Hello everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to be holding space for the full moon in Cancer today. Please make sure to like this video so that way I know to keep making these types of videos. Also, check out my link down below for my tarot course if you're interested in learning tarot. It's super fun. It's really affordable right now. It's selling at its introductory price, so check it out. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this full moon and what it has in store for us. So first, let's dive into what Cancer is. So Cancer is the moon's home sign. So the moon is very strong, very comfortable. It's in its full power when it's in the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is a sign that rules over empathy. It's a very sensitive sign. It is a sign that understands what other people need. It's very nurturing. It rules over our past, our home, our ancestry, where we come from, and our inner world and our emotional security. And something that was really interesting, I was watching a video from Pam Gregory, and she talks about how Cancer energy and the moon energy rules over our inner state, our inner being, what is going on inside. And that actually determines our frequency, the frequency that we're emitting off into the world, the universe, the energy that we're sending off into the universe to respond to. And that frequency determines what timeline we are in. Okay, and she talked about how there's two timelines you could be in. You could be in the timeline where you are building a life from a place of fear, or you can be in the timeline where you're building a life from a place of love. And we get to choose what timeline we're in. Nobody's forcing us. Nobody is keeping us in one place or another. We get to choose. And that all depends on our inner state of being, our inner world. And what's that like? Are you operating from a place of fear within and allowing your nervous system and your brain and your body to function from that? Or are you allowing it to function from a place of love? And that is not an easy switch. It is something that I think so many of us astrologers are still studying and still trying to get right. But it's something that the Cancer full moon is going to highlight for you. And it's going to leave you breadcrumbs and clues on what timeline you're in, how you're processing, what frequency you're emitting, and how you can move into the timeline of love if you're not already there. And one thing I will say about that is when you want to be in the timeline of love, you need to pour love into everything. If you want love to come to you, you need to pour love out. So that would look like ditching the job that you hate, because that's going to make you operate from that place of fear. Ditching that job you hate and being patient and trusting enough in the universe to find a job that you love. Ditching people that, that don't spark up love and sparking up negativity, and moving towards people who spark up love. Having furniture in the home that you love. Every time you walk in, you're like, I love how this room feels and the space that I'm in. Having clothes on you that you love, eating food that you love, doing things that you love, a workout routine that you love, challenges and obstacles even that are easy to overcome because you love the path you're on and you love what you're doing. So it starts by making small changes, recognizing when there's something about your everyday that you don't love, getting that out and replacing it with something that you do love. Start there. And full moons, the energy of full moons are all about completion, all about coming full circle. So something is reaching a culmination period here with the full moon. And this full moon occurs on January 6, 2023, or the 7th, depending on where you are in the world. But January 6, 2023, 3:07 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the 16th degree of Cancer. And then soon after, Mercury moves through the heart of the sun, which means it's in Cazimi, and it comes out a morning star, which means it's born again. That happens the next day. And this represents a grand awareness. Another thing that's interesting about the full moon is that it's trine Neptune. And that Neptune energy is bringing in cosmic knowledge. So we'll be receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of intuitive feelings. Like I said, the universe is literally leaving you breadcrumbs to follow. It's also going to send you protection. Now, this protection can look like a blessing, or this protection can look like bad luck because, it's protecting you from a from being on the wrong path. It's trying to send you back and redirect you. And so sometimes Neptune's protection isn't always fun. Like an example of this, there was one time when I was in a horrible relationship. I was living with this person. It wasn't a horrible relationship. It was just a relationship that didn't have love. The person was fine. The person was very kind, but it was a relationship that didn't have love. And I was living with this person, and literally all our things got robbed, and we were forced to start over. And that looked like, at the time, horrible luck. But that was protection, cosmic protection from the universe, because that allowed me to get out, and I was able to start my life. And after that, I moved out on my own. I started my tarot business, and here we are now. So Neptune's protection can work in funny ways like that. So let's go ahead and look at this overall themes of what this full moon is going to bring. We're going to start with the positives, and then we will talk about the downsides of this full moon, because everything, in this world is going to have positive and negatives. It's going to be that yin and yang, black and white. Everything works in harmony in that way. Everything's dualistic. We live in a dualistic universe. So, overall themes. Something is initiating inside you. Cancer is a cardinal sign, and cardinal energy is about starting something new, initiating. Cardinal signs they happen on the days that the seasons change up. So there's also an energy of changing things up and a brand new season coming in whatever house the full moon is happening in. So Cancer being our inner world, there's something that you are initiating inside of you. There is a self-actualization process happening here where you're like, whoa, this is who I am, or whoa, this is what I want, or whoa, this is what I need. Cancer energy is very good at pinpointing what people need, and you are having that realization within you, and you're going to actualize it. You're going to make sure you give it to yourself. That is the energy of loving yourself. That is the energy of parenting yourself. I could also see people working through and healing up parenting wounds, or maybe shedding away any of the false selves that they created because of parental wounds. This energy rules grounding yourself up, so that way you can actually be more free, grounding yourself up in your home place, so that way you can be more free to work and not stress about home, or grounding yourself in the workplace, so that way you have more income to spend on your home and making it more comfortable, and you could feel more free there. So the Cancer Capricorn axis deals with that. Any of the water sign and earth sign axes deal with that. And with Neptune connecting with this, I think there's an energy of dreams coming through. And here's the thing, if you want to dream, or if you want to tap into the frequency of dreams, you need to be still. Think about it. We enter dream world when we're daydreaming and we're like kind of zoned out and we're still, like sitting on our desk listening to a lecture or whatever. That's one way. Or when we're sleeping, we're completely still and we enter dream world. It is then when you are still that your body can tell you what it wants to get up and go do. So if you're always moving, always on the go, you might end up feeling lost, because your body doesn't have a chance to dream and figure out what it wants to do, what it really wants to do. So try to be still during this moon. Try to be alone, be in your own space, be comfortable, have, DoorDash out, a coffee out, Netflix on, vibing, try to be still and relax. Even just sitting out in nature, having your feet on the ground, just breathing. An energy of cleansing is coming through. Cancer rules over water energy, and water is very cleansing, very rejuvenating and purifying and healing. Something that I think is interesting too is how Cancer is in the sign of, how Moon is in the sign of Cancer, and Moon is really showing off its power, and Moon rules over our oceans and bodies of water, and those are all connected to the moon cycles. And we have San Francisco, flooding right now. San Francisco is my home. I'm sending lots of love, so much freaking love, protection, energy, and prayers to anyone out there in San Francisco dealing with that flood. That is insane. I've never seen anything like that in my whole 22 years of living in San Francisco. I moved after that. Now I'm in SoCal, but Yeah, I think that's just a little interesting how we experience, that flooding right when the moon is in its full power. Continuing on with the intuitive messages, and sorry about that. Um, Sorry about me directing to that, but that was just an interesting download. Let's get back to the full messages. So, another thing that this full moon is going to ask you to do is feel out the entire spectrum of your emotions. Let them come out. If you need to cry, cry. Make it dramatic and freaking cry it out. If you are angry, be angry. Make it dramatic and like punch your pillow or scream into your pillow. Let it come out. Feel the entire spectrum of your emotions. That is a healing experience. That takes that energy out of the body and puts it off into the world. So something interesting I was reading up in The Power of Now by, what's his name? Let me look it up. I'm sorry I'm forgetting the author. I'm so bad at remembering names, y'all. Not my strong suit. Let me look it up, though. Eckhart Tolle. Anyways, in there, Eckhart talks about how humans are one of the only species that need to put a name on everything. And because of this, we have racing thoughts when other species don't, because, other species will go through something traumatic, right? But they don't have a word for extreme depression. They don't have a word for bipolarism. They don't have a word for anxiety. They don't have a word for things like that. So because they don't have a word for it, it's not a real thing in their reality. Us humans have a word for everything. So there's a lot going on in our reality. And again, that creates racing thoughts. And he talks about how if you observe a cat, for example, he calls cats Zen masters. I think that's really funny. But if you observe a cat, for example, they will go through a range of emotions, even dogs too. They'll go through a range of emotions, but they also let their emotions pass. They don't overthink it. They don't keep it alive. They don't build an identity around it. They just feel it through and then they shake it off. So example, my boyfriend's mom's dog literally got neutered not that long ago. That was a traumatic experience for him. The doggy woke up one day and his man parts were gone. And boy, I've never seen a dog so sad. I've never seen that guy so down. But after a few days, he was back to normal. And, that's an unrealistic thing to expect on humans. I'm not telling you to dismiss your emotions, and I'm not saying this is going to be an end-all, be-all method for curing, a broken heart. But what I am, reminding you is that you do have control of your emotions, and that emotions hold both positive and negative information for you and a message for you that you need to know. So you have to feel them out. You need to receive the message, but then eventually you need to let it pass. You don't have to build an identity around it. You don't have to keep it alive. That's where you have the control. All you can do sometimes is surrender to what is, don't overthink things, and shake it off, much like a cat would or a dog would. You would eat a yummy meal, take a nap, and then be like, okay, well, what's done is done and it has passed, and I'm okay now, at least, So that's just sort of a little intuitive messages coming through there for feeling the entire spectrum of your emotions and then letting it go, really purging it out of your body and the nervous system, sweat it out, take a hot bath, do some stretching, talk to people, cognitively processing your emotions, wonderful way to release them. Another thing I'm seeing here is people leaving the past behind. Cancer rules over the past, moon rules over culminations. So, boom, something about the past we are finally letting go. I think we're letting go of 2019, letting go of 2020 and 2018 and all those kind of more chaotic years. I think also people are really seeing the potential in themselves and in the future and in the, days ahead, and that potential is protected. I definitely think it's protected by Neptune, and I think Neptune likes to protect dreams for sure when you're working with Neptune energy in a positive way. I also think this is a time period where you could really see the benefits from things that you started and kicked off. maybe back in 2020. I also think this is a good time to allow in a little luxury in your life, a luxury where you can afford it. Like, you may not be able to afford that 5-star hotel that, sells for like $1,000 a night, but you can afford your, a little bougie, like $50 lighter or something. So why not have that luxury? I think that is like a really great thing right now. I think this is also a great time to like, maybe have like a little bit of luxurious furniture. If you want to invest in that's something that's going to be with you for years. Be smart about your investments, but spoiling yourself a little, not a bad thing. I think you are also asked to honor your truth, the emotional wisdom that comes up, and trusting what you're feeling. Don't doubt it, don't resent it, trust it. Give it nurture, give it love, let it unfold. And when you do that, you will grow. When you do that and you surrender to what is, there is a better chance that you could be more gentle with yourself and real with yourself and connect with yourself. It's like if a little kid is like crying at you and you just keep ignoring it, the kid's going to keep crying. You have your own inner child in you that's like crying. You want to face it. You want to give it a hug. You want to surrender to what that inner child needs. And I'm also feeling the need for a lot of hibernation, lots of alone time, sleepy time. Full moon in Cancer is a sleepy energy, so it's normal to be tired right now. Also family time. If you have a cool family, I think that's awesome. If you, have a chosen family, hang out with them, this could be a really positive time for that. Now, some downsides to this full moon. There aren't many, but there are still downsides. So there could be, yes, extreme challenges here. Cancer is a sign of extremes in a way because it waxes and wanes. And this could bring up like difficult emotional truths that you're going to have to face, those tough pills to swallow. It could bring in sometimes psychological difficulty because of those emotional truths, and, try to recognize that when your brain is overthinking it and keeping the emotions alive and building an identity around it. That's when the psychological difficulty can come in. So really, good time to work with a therapist if you have it, or a professional counselor. Try to cognitively process those emotions. But I think that really just comes through if you haven't been honoring your truth and if you've been ignoring how you feel. This energy can be intense. It can be a little intense, especially since we're going to have Mars moving direct soon after. Let me see when that would be. I think I noted it. I think it's okay, I might not have noted it, but that's okay. Mars is going to move direct soon after, so this energy can get intense. It can get pressurized. So it can feel a little heavy. It can feel a little dense. It can feel super foggy. But again, in the human design book that I was reading, it kind of talks about how we all have like an inner motor within us. We have our conscious brain and our inner motor, and our inner motor is meant to drive. The conscious brain is meant to sit in the passenger seat and enjoy the views along the way. It's that inner motor that knows what to do, that knows how to navigate this universe, even when things are dense, intense, or foggy, or pressurized. It still knows what to do. It is a cognitive, logical, conscious brain that can be like, oh, I'm scared, I want to take the wheel, I don't trust you. We have to trust our inner motor the most. We have to trust our third eye and our intuition the most, because that is what is able to see even when things are foggy. Anyways, another downside could be sort of the heart and the mind going at it a little bit. We have the moon in Cancer ruling emotions, and then Mercury opposing it in Capricorn, so heart and mind kind of maybe battling there. And you could see kind of people lacking integrity a little bit, and you can also see people demanding attention and recognition and being nurtured and to be babied, but it's like in a bratty way. The Cancer can rule the inner child, but it can also rule the inner brat when it's in shadow side, so you can kind of see that coming through as well. Now, a couple just ritual ideas I have for you for this full moon. This is a freaking amazing time to take a spiritual bath and shower. I cannot recommend that one enough. Get near a body of water, let it clean you out. A ritual you could do is work with pearls if in rituals. So if you're going to do whatever ritual you want, you could work with pearls. Pearls rules over the moon and it rules over Cancer. I also, during every full moon, always suggest that people write down everything they want to release on paper and then burn it. When you burn it, you're kind of like releasing it out into the universe. Alrighty, so now we're going to get into messages for all 12 zodiac signs. We'll be taking a look at what the full moon is doing for you, what that Sun and Mercury cazimi is doing for you, and I'm going to pull a spiritual message and an oracle card for you. Now you could watch for your rising sign. It'll be the most accurate for that, but you could still also watch for your sun and moon sign. You may find that it resonates. That'll probably be just a second. So that'll be secondary to the rising sign. I am using astrology, so it'll be the most accurate for your rising sign, but still watch for your sun and moon signs. I love doing that. I think you get so much more insight and you can get a holistic just outlook on the energy. Okay, starting here with Aries. Hello, Aries, sun, moon, and risings. You have the full moon happening in your 4th house. So we could see a culmination period here in terms of your family, your ancestors or your ancestral line, your home life, properties, your internal world. Something about that is coming to a culmination period and is overcoming any types of blockages, any types of obstacles. You are moving through that and moving forward. I could see you initiating something regarding work or your public reputation or any type of goals that you have for like long-term goals for yourself. You could be initiating that, like initiating, that 401k or initiating, some type of investment, just something that's going to give back to you over the years. It could be initiating conversations with the mother and father, with this happening on your 4th and 10th house. And your spirit message is to rest and recharge. Rest and recharge. You have had a crazy year, and you deserve to take some time to yourself and just catch your breath this month. Okay, catch your breath this month. I really feel like this month you're meant to do that, and then February you're meant to start to get the ball rolling, and then when March comes around and springtime comes and Aries season starts, then you're meant to shine. And the card I pulled for you was love. All right, investing more in love and things you love, people you love, a job that you love, clothes that you love, furniture that you love. Literally create an entire life that is built on a foundation of love from here on out. I feel like you've been living in the fear timeline for way too long, Aries, and I feel like you've been running, you've been stressed, you've been always having to look out for yourself, and you don't have to do that anymore. And the way out of that is to let love in. And when you pour love out, like I said, you're going to get it back in. And I think the universe could be sending you more love. Friends that love you, maybe healing relationships within the family and rebuilding and starting over there. Or chosen family coming through. But you could see more love entering your life, Aries. Taurus. Hello, Taurus, sun, moons, and risings. You have your full moon in the 3rd house. So you're reaching a accumulation period when it comes to your mindsets or your skill sets. If you're in any type of, programs or something like that, you could be finishing that up. You could be maybe having an accumulation period with dialogues if you've been going back and forth with somebody, or if there has been just like closure needed from somebody. That type of conversation could be coming through. I could see you initiating some type of travel for yourself, maybe initiating some type of higher level education, looking into that and maybe trying to figure that out. You could be initiating some new spiritual or religious practice, or just some type of ethics and values coming through. And your spirit message is to take a risk. Okay, the universe says you are safe. Take a calculated risk, not an impulsive, messy one, a calculated one. And I think the universe is supporting you. And the card that I pulled for you is Voyage. Voyage, okay? Adventure coming through, travel coming through. I could even see you guys moving homes, like moving to a different state, different city, different country even. And I think that's so awesome for you. I think you guys have been itching for a fresh start, and this full moon is going to give it to you. Gemini, sun, moon, and risings, welcome. So you have your full moon happening in your second house. So we could see a culmination period here when it comes to your finances and resources, your income, your material possessions. There could be money coming in for you, or maybe you could be ending a job or kind of ending a program for a job. There's some type of just culmination period there, and you'll be initiating new income, new value. So this looks like applying for a new job. I really like that. I could see that towards the later half of the month for you Geminis, maybe initiating new values. You've maybe been reading lots of books and strengthening your mind and, creating a new value system within you. And remember what we talked about, your inner energy determines the frequency you put out, and that determines the timeline that you're in. So you guys could be, really switching it up from the inside out and entering new timelines that way. Your spirit message is that you are enough, Gemini. You are enough for the jobs that you want to apply for the things that you want to initiate. You are good enough, and you have always been. And the card I have for you, it's flow, trusting the flow of life, the processes of life, the flow of your own inner self and how you like to work, trusting that, not going against that, and finding jobs that work with that. Because I do think Gemini has an inner flow, an inner way that they like to do things. They like to sometimes, especially I see this with Gemini moons, they have an efficient way to do things, and they'll do it in that way over and over again. It's that Virgo ruling the fourth house energy. I see this for Gemini risings too. And trust that. Don't go against that. All right, Cancer. Hello, Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. You are the star of the show this time around. This is your full moon, and you are reaching a culmination period when it comes to yourself. The visions that you have for yourself in your life, you're like, okay, hell yeah, this is what it looks like. This is what 2023 looks like. And I think you're going to reach a lot more self-love, really letting go of any fears that the visions that you have for yourself won't come true. You're really letting that go. And I think you're going to feel a level of comfort and protection coming from the universe. And I could see you initiating just new life plans in general, plans for your appearances, plans for your body, plans for your job, plans for your identity, plans for your life, plans for your home, plans for your relationship. You kind of are getting a little bit more clear. It won't happen overnight. It'll happen over the course of this month, especially when all planets become direct towards the end of the month. That's when you're going to be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do next. And I think it's important to have that pause period. Have a period where, because you've just entered a new chapter in your life, or a new timeline, or just a new identity or something. Have a minute to kind of sit there and be like, okay, what is this going to be about? Have a moment of stillness. Remember, we talked about stillness and how that connects to your dreams. Have that moment so the dreams can present itself, and you'll know what you need to initiate. So be patient with that. I do feel in your energy, Cancers, that you guys have been rushing that process, and slow it down. Be patient. Have time for yourself and stillness, and just trust that the universe is leaving you breadcrumbs and it's protecting you. And your spirit message is that you were always meant to do this. You were always meant to do this. And the card that I pulled for you is community. And one thing I'm seeing on this card is butterflies. So this says to me that yes, Cancer has entered a new time period where you're not a caterpillar anymore. You're not a caterpillar anymore. You're not crawling on the ground. You're not hanging out with other caterpillars. You've already came out of that transformation. You did the cocoon thing, you transformed, and now you're a butterfly. And there's a new handbook. There's a new handbook here to learn. You got to learn how to fly. You got to learn how to drink nectar. You got to learn how to socialize with the other butterflies. Stop trying to hang out with the caterpillars, So that's the metaphor I'm getting here. And I think you guys definitely are not only finding a community, but I think you're going to be a leader in that community. And I think that is something to spiritually and mentally prepare for. Don't go into a community demanding it. Earn it. Prepare for it. Okay? Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Welcome. You have your full moon in your 12th house. And I could see you have a culmination period here when it comes to some type of karmic cycle happening. Really like an old momentum that started from an old version of yourself is ending, and you really get a fresh new start here. Heaviness is ending. A lot of you could be celebrating like sobriety, celebrating like the past being gone, celebrating some type of ending. I think this ending is a good thing. And I could see you initiating some new healing or new health routines, even really taking care of your health. Again, maybe letting go of any types of addictions or addictive tendencies you have. And the spirit message that spirit has for you is to leave the past behind you. You are not the old you. You are not the old you, so don't view life through that lens anymore. You need a new lens. And it's already here for you. You already have it. You just need to open your eyes and look through it and be proud of how far you've come and how much you have overcome. And the message I have for you is miracles, Leo. I think that you are the miracle. I think there's something about you and your story and the things that you stand for that shows other people, yeah, miracles can happen. Miracles can come true. And I think you will experience maybe a little miracle, maybe like double rainbows or like big blessings coming through, just something like that, where you're like, wow, the universe just works in miraculous ways. I love that. Virgo, welcome. You have the full moon happening in your 11th house. So you could be reaching some type of culmination period here when it comes to friendships and groups and your higher ambitions. Maybe you're realizing that some type of higher ambition that you had isn't really what you want. Or maybe you're realizing that your groups or your friends aren't really what you need for the next chapter. You could be just spending more time alone with them, or maybe even reaching some type of culmination period with them, like graduating with them or finding a new job with them, quitting an old job with them, something like that. It doesn't always have to mean that you're losing your friends. You could even just be wrapping up projects that you started with your friends, things like that. I could see you initiating new goals and new ambitions. I think you have a better idea of what you want, and you'll be initiating it over, the course of the next few months. And Spirit's message for you is to go against the grain. You don't have to do things the way other people are doing things. You can walk to the beat of your own drum. You have the knowledge, the experience, and the inner knowing to do that. So trust that. And the card that I pulled for you is going forward. You are moving forward. All the blockages are dropping. The hardships, the obstacles on the way are dropping. And you are finally getting that green light from the universe to move forward in something that's probably related to your goals, to your ambitions, to your friend groups, or maybe even social media. Social media is connected to the 11th house as well. You could be starting something off there, or something could be taking off there. Libra, welcome. So you have your full moon in your 10th house. So this is showing me that you will reach some type of accumulation period when it comes to your public reputation or your work, or maybe your father figure, or any men in your life, maybe ending things with them or ending a cycle there with them. I could see you initiating something when it comes to your home life, healing any family wounds, particularly the mother, maybe redecorating the home so that way it matches like the lifestyle that you want to get into, that you want to move into. And also initiating a new internal monologue, a new way of processing your emotions. Maybe you've discovered there's just a new way to kind of heal your body. And Spirit's message for you is to be proud of yourself, Libra. I think you are always like, oh, I need more. I need to go. I need to grow. I need to expand. I need to build my business. I need to be prettier. I need to do this. And the Spirit's like, you are actually already so amazing that it makes your angels want to cry because of how freaking proud they are of you. So take that moment to yourself to be just as proud and to feel your angels being proud of you. And the card I have for you, Libra, is power. fuck yeah. Excuse my language, but heck yeah. Power. You are in your full power. All right. Don't go. You're not out there earning it. You're not out there finding it. You are in it. And I think you need to realize that you don't have to prove it to anybody either. Everyone sees it. Scorpio. Welcome, Scorpio, sun, moons, and risings. You have your full moon in your 9th house. So I could see a culmination period here when it comes to higher education. Some of you could be graduating or just graduated. Culmination period here when it comes to wisdom. You may have gained a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience in a particular area of life. I could see like culmination periods when it comes to travel. Maybe like your travel points have reached a point where you can like buy a plane ticket to where you want to go, something like that. Culmination when it comes to religious practices or spiritual practices. And I could see you initiating some type of important communication with somebody, or initiating like a new program that adds to your skill sets, like a language program, or maybe like a 2-year program, just something that adds to your belt. And I could also see you initiating a lot more social activity, hanging out with your friends, hanging out with your communities, things like that. And Spirit's message for you is the answers that you're searching for are already in your heart. You don't have to go out there and find it. It's right there in your backyard. It's right there, right where you're sitting. It's right here in your heart. Okay. And the card that I have for you is enlightenment. There is a leveling up in consciousness here happening for you this full moon. There is a realization period. There is like a mental breakthrough. There is a big lesson that comes in that you finally finish, that you finally learn, and that you graduate from. You're not going to be stuck in that same cycle, learning that same lesson anymore. You're like, oh yeah, I get it. I get how I can move forward. I get how I can, ascend and float to the next level, to the next chapter of life. Sagittarius, you have your full moon in your 8th house. Okay, so you may be reaching a culmination period when it comes to your relationships. Something could be ending there, or something could be leveling up. I could also see a culmination period when it comes to psychological health, maybe completing therapy, or reaching a breakthrough when it comes to your psychological health. And you could be healing from losses. 8th house rules like the experience of some type of loss. So if that happened, this full moon brings in a lot of healing in that energy. It gives you a lot of love. It gives you a big warm hug. It's going to send you people to give you hugs and to be there for you. You're not alone, and you are going to be able to heal from this and come out stronger. I could see Sagittarius is initiating some type of new job for themselves, or accumulating some type of resources. This could come from inheritances, and maybe even initiating new value systems, maybe coming from just a lot of the spiritual transformations that you have gone through, and maybe even initiating some type of new adventure for you. Maybe it's a job that makes you travel or something like that. Very fun. And Spirit's message for you is that it all happened for a reason. It all happened for a reason, and it was a positive one, and you need to trust that. Even if it wasn't a positive one for you, it could have been a positive one for something else. But at the end of the day, whatever it happened was in the name of peace, and you'll be reaping that very soon and seeing how there's going to be more peace in your life. And the card that I pulled for you is wisdom. I think that you are diving deep into yourself, and you are gaining so much wisdom about yourself and what you need and what direction to head towards. And I think you're really building a strong connection with the cosmos, with spirit, with your soul, and you're just becoming more conscious of it. You're listening to it. You're trusting it more. Capricorn, welcome to your full moon, welcome to this part of the video. You have a full moon in your 7th house, and you are reaching a culmination period when it comes to your relationships. You could be, breaking up with people, or finally getting over a breakup too. You could be reaching a culmination period when it comes to contracts, finally getting freed from contracts, ending contracts, renewing contracts, things like that. And maybe also your interpersonal style is updating, and you have a new way of presenting yourself, a new way of connecting and bonding with people, and a new way. And when you do that, you attract different people. I could see you initiating a lot more self-love, initiating maybe a new appearance or a new just look, new brand for yourself, and definitely initiating new life plans. I think there's an old chapter ending and a new chapter starting here, and I could see you initiating long-term plans at that, creating that 5-year plan, that 10-year plan, creating, investing in yourself, initiating some type of investment. Your spirit's message for you is to shake it off and move forward, Capricorn. There is something that has just weighed on you, and spirit has been pushing and pushing and helping you to move forward. And now it's like the only thing left to do is simply let go. And the card that I have for you is change, Capricorn. You have the card of change. Things are changing up, and you are changing, and your inner world is changing. Your friends might be changing, and something about this change actually feels like it brings permanence. I think you have been going through lots of changes over the last couple years, and nothing has been permanent and nothing has been grounded. But I think this is almost like the final shift, and it brings you to a place where you can start to root yourself down. It brings you to a place where you're safe enough, where you could be yourself and where you can really thrive. So trust this change, knowing that it actually brings in permanence, that it actually allows you to root yourself. Okay. And then Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hi, welcome. You have the full moon in your 6th house, so we could see a culmination period when it comes to your routines, when it comes to your health. A lot of you can maybe be tackling and overcoming some type of health issue. You could be also experiencing a culmination when it comes to services that you give. So maybe like finishing up the last client from like 2022, or ending one type of service to start up another type of service, or even maybe ending services altogether and just reserving more energy for yourself instead of constantly giving it away. And you could be initiating more alone time. You could be initiating spiritual practices. You could be initiating maybe trying to overcome any type of like substance abuse or addictions, really initiating that type of healing and coming back to yourself, letting go of the past as well. And Spirit's message for you is to spend more time alone. All right. And the card that I have for you is protection, Aquarius. You are heavily protected right now. The things that you want, the things that you're dreaming about, the things that you're trying to heal, it's protected. There's no like evil person that's going to come in and like ruin everything for you, which I think a lot of Aquariuses experienced. They had some type of like friend or lover that came in and ruined things for them. And I want you to know that you're like protected from that. Okay. It's not going to happen again. It's not. And so spend more time with yourself, fall back in love with yourself, try to discover your true self and take away what's not you. Try to heal and try to move forward from the past, because past can't touch you anymore, Aquarius. After this, past is not touching you. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, welcome. You have your full moon in your 5th house here. This is a fun full moon. You have an I'm getting tongue twisted. Sorry, Pisces, but there could be some type of culmination period when it comes to joy, your creative energy, your romances. You could be, end in one fling, starting in another fling. You could be reaping the rewards of your creative energy, really getting noticed for that. People really enjoying it. I could also see you initiating some type of new friendships, entering new communities. How fun. Maybe starting up new social medias, or even starting up like a social media for your business or for your creative endeavors. having more fun when it comes to social medias and friends and communities. And Spirit's message for you is that you deserve to be happy, Pisces. So when you feel the happiness coming in, don't reject it. Don't be scared of it. Don't think, it's temporary and it's going to get taken away. It's not. You deserve to be happy, and you deserve a life that is rooted down in happiness and in love. And the universe is trying really hard to show you that that's your birthright. That's what you are meant to experience. But if you're going to do that, you have to let go of what's not making you happy and what is. And I think you may be having to redefine what happiness means to you. What does happiness mean to you? Redefine that. I think you're also redefining your dreams. A dream that you've been chasing and fighting for, you may have realized wasn't really your dream at all. And now you get to dream of something different, something more joyful and less self-sacrificing. You are done self-sacrificing, Pisces. And the card that I pulled for you was embracing. So embracing the stillness, embracing the peace, embracing yourself and your happiness and the road ahead, and not looking back anymore, looking forward and embracing, I think, the things that are making you happy, and again, letting go of what's not. But the biggest thing that I'm sensing here is embracing peace. I think Pisces, sometimes they crave peace. They like their alone time. They like to just be like doing their own thing in their own dream world. But you need to create peace in your real life now. All right. And it's going to be through embracing what is for you and what's not. And you know it in your heart when something is not for you. And I think you're really going to be exposed to all the wonders and magic of this world. And that is going to help you embrace the future too. I think that the world is proving to you that it is magical, and that you are magical, that you are alchemical, and that you can change things up. You don't have to live in this reality where it's hard and where it's sad and where it's painful. You can enter a reality where it's joyful and it's romantic and it's healing. Alrighty, so we've gone through all 12 signs. That was so much fun. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, don't forget to give it a like or a comment so that way I know to keep making these types of videos, and it'll also really help my channel grow, so I appreciate that. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful full moon.